Alright, so what is good YouTube? My name is Emil Ross and welcome back to the Martial Consulting channel. In today's video, I've got a pretty interesting concept for you that will hopefully help you to understand the concept of wasting time and on basically the concept of how to stop wasting time and how to be more productive and how to actually do the work instead of wanting to do the work and just finding yourself watching some YouTube or whatever it is in your case. It's a pretty interesting concept from my perspective, at least, which which I have recorded a clip for on my computer, which I'm gonna cut it now. And with that being said, if you find this helpful, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos about how to acquire students for your dojo. And yeah, I'm gonna cut the clip in now, and I'll see you in there. Alright, so welcome again to my wonderful Miro board drawings. Basically what I'm gonna explain to you now might actually save you years of doing things that basically won't get you closer to your goal. Anyways, with that being said, I think we can straight up jump into this video if I just move this over here and if I then put this here. So for today, I luckily have already drawn everything out. Please ignore this should represent a human being. It should make sense, but it doesn't. Like, his body is a little bit too long. So please ignore that the drawings are not that beautiful, but I've tried my best here. And they're definitely better than they have been in some past videos. Anyways, that's a story for another day. Let's straight up jump into it. So, essentially the concept that I want to explain to you in this video is pretty interesting, because it's something that basically applies to every human being that is out there. So, every human being has basically time and energy. Like, this is pretty obvious, right? So, the only thing we really have on this planet is just time and energy. So if we would then first principle it down even more, it's basically just potential. I mean, sure, like there's the possibility of you just like getting a heart attack and dying today, right? Or just getting hit by a bus today, whatever it is, right? So time is like, we don't know how much time we have. And I mean, essentially, we don't really know how much energy we have, but we can basically influence how much energy we have by just, for example, having a good sleep, good nutrition, and we can also influence how much time we have. Um, or no, we can't really influence how much time we have. Well, to a degree we can, because if we eat healthy, then we might not get ill in the future. But that's a story for another day. What I was just saying. Basically, we can influence what we do with our time and what we yeah where we spend our time, basically, because essentially all we have is potential, and is the potential to essentially just become whatever we want to. So if we break this down, and if I get a little bit more to this drawing, so let's say you're here right now, you're just a dojo owner, you're owning, I don't know, a taekwondo club, for example, and your goals is to make 10K per month with your dojo, to have lots of students who compete at competitions and to help them train for these competitions, I don't know, and to have a family with kids. Just easy examples here. This might change for you. You might have different goals. Might have the goal of 100K per month with your dojo, whatever it is, but generally let's use it for this example. And then you basically also, like, every human being has this. I have this, you probably have this as well. Elon Musk probably has this as well, although he's Elon Musk, so I don't know if he has this, but essentially every human being basically has these black holes, if we call them like this. And basically these black holes, they just suck away your energy and time. So, for example, when you're interested in politics and you're thinking like, all right, should Trump win this election, or should, I don't know, should the UK be in the UK, be in the EU, or should it exit the EU? Like I don't care about politics here, so I don't want to make like any political statements here. And if you do care about politics and you're still watching this video, then please just click off, or I don't know, it's up to you. But let me explain. So basically, it's the same with sports. So let's say you're always interested in football. So you're already watching football in your country, already interested in sport, and you're already always watching the game every single day. You're checking every single day how your team is doing, what transfers are happening. I don't know, whatever it is in your case. Maybe it's another sport, maybe it's something else. Another thing down here could also be like just general things that basically don't move you closer to your goal. And basically, the more time you spend with those black holes, like the more time and energy you put into those, like not only the further away you will get from your goal, but more or less like the more time and energy is spent down here, the less time and energy is basically spent up here, and the longer it will basically take you to achieve your goals. So what you should do ideally is to just close all of those black holes down here that you have basically, and that you should basically put all of your time and energy into your goals instead of these bad habits. Because bad habits, and with bad habits here, I, for example, just mean like having a bad sleep, having a bad diet, whatever it is, right? And uh, just in general, like not optimizing your personal life for optimal results, so to speak. And the more time you invest into all of those things or bad habits, for example, watching Netflix, this could be anything, right? Just in general, and there you might have more black holes, or you might not be interested in politics at all, and this doesn't apply to you at all. But you're really interested in sports, or the other way around. You're really interested. You don't care about sports, but you're really interested in who wins the election, or maybe you don't have all of those, and you only waste time on social media, for example. Like it's like to be completely vulnerable. It's, for example, one for me. Like I don't care about to give you an example here of my personal life. Like I don't care about politics. My bad habits, yeah, they could of course be better. There's always stuff to improve with your personal life and with like your habits and with like just being even more disciplined. But that's all, I guess, all right. Touch wood here, of course, right? That stays like this. But for example, I'm still like the only thing that I'm still a little bit vulnerable in is maybe sports. So I'm still pretty interested in football, for example, right? So I might here and there in the evening like just check like some football results, or like on a Sunday I'll just watch like a soccer game, a football game. We're gonna call it football on this channel, not soccer. Um, so sorry for the voice crack. So I might just check that out, and the more like it is not that worse, but the more time I spend in that, the less time I can basically spend on my goals. And but I mean I know myself, like I need to close these black holes completely, and so do you. Like you need to close basically all of those black holes, and you basically need to sacrifice everything. Like you need to sacrifice all of your bad habits. You need to sacrifice all of your interests in sports, politics, and whatever it is. There is a caveat to this, which I'll get to in just a second. And you basically need to spend zero amount of time down here, and you basically need to spend all of your time and energy up here to essentially achieve your goals. Um, and essentially, if you spend your time and energy up here, you will basically just suffer and have to be disciplined, because you will always get sacked down into your old ways, which is a story for another day. But the only caveat to this, which I would say personally, like this might change if you have a different opinion on this, let me know in the comments, is like, for example, sports. Let's say like like you and your wife, husband, whatever, are both every Sunday you are watching a sports game together. You're like whatever it is, right? Or let's say religion. Like I didn't put this down here, but let's say you're like a really religious person. Now I don't want to make like any religious discussions on this channel, because this channel is here to help you with student acquisition. But let's say you're a really religious person, and you pray like 5 times a day, whatever it is, right? It's up to you. I mean, you can do whatever you want, of course. Um, let's say you pray like 5 times per day. Like this is not essentially a bad habit, because like here's the thing, like essentially you're still spending time and energy in like something else than working on your goals, right? But we're human beings, and we always will have like our downsides. Like we're like not robots, so to speak, right? So it's hard to say, to be honest, because like it's not that worse if you spend like every evening like 1 hour watching Netflix, and if it's like really only 1 hour in the evening, right? And you're really trying to come down with your wife or husband in the evening, right? And you really just want to relax, or as I've said before earlier, you're just watching like this one soccer game every football game, sorry, every Sunday afternoon, right? And it's like really your off time, all right? Then that's fine, right? So then you of course need off time, but in general, I think you get my point. Like it should be scheduled off time, so to speak. So like, all right, so all right, I'm gonna work until 9 p.m. today, and then at 9 p.m. I might have an hour off on Netflix, and then I might have an hour off and then I might like do my evening routine and then go to sleep at 11. Like this is how I personally do it. Like I always try to wrap up my day until 9 p.m. And then from 9 until 10, I'm quote unquote free to do whatever I want. So I have like 1 hour where I mean, at the moment, I'm just using this time to do like some, not work, but to just watch like some educational videos or to read a book or whatever. But essentially, I would also like, it would also be fine if like in this 1 hour I would play like video games. As long, of course, as I then don't play like video games the next day again, right? Or I don't play video games when I would have to work, so to speak, right? So as long as it just stays 1 hour in the evening for 5 days a week, and then in the weekends, of course, none of that, and like just spend your time productive on the weekends. It's just for me personally, right? And as long as it would stay like only with this 1 hour in the evening, that's fine. And then from 10 until 11, I basically just read and go to sleep, so to speak. But essentially, like, you wanna still let's raise it like this. Like, essentially, you still wanna give yourself time off. Not particularly maybe with being interested in politics or with being too much into bad habits, but just with like a little bit off time right before you go to sleep, because otherwise you will just burn out. It doesn't particularly have to be something in those black holes. Maybe it could just also be reading a book. But maybe like reading could also be a black hole down here, because you're always reading a book and you should work, but you're addicted to reading books. It might also be a thing. I mean, it's probably not that common in today's world, but you get my point. And essentially, like, unless it is scheduled in, so unless you're really like knowing, all right, like, for example, you're scheduling this in on Thursday already, all right, I know on Sunday afternoon my team is playing, so I'm gonna work harder on my dojo now, so I can take Sunday afternoon off, right? Uh, and then you can spend some time and energy down here, but essentially, like, if you're doing this right and you're really like using this time to relax, like in the relaxed time, you basically get more time, get more energy that you can then use for your goals. So essentially, this would even get you closer to your goals. But the main point of this video is basically that you have to close all of those black holes, and that you need to stop being into any bad habit, and that you should basically spend all of your time and energy into achieving your goals, because all of the time that you spend down here with being interested in politics, whatever it is, will essentially just steal time from you achieving your goal. Anyways, that's everything for today's video. If you want more students for your dojo, click the first link in the description. Other than that, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.